to Sunday evening program. Now we do chanting, followed by meditation and few words of Dhamma talk. So I invite all of you to join and participate and take the benefit of this gathering.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantam Avivat Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso Bhagavārahang Samma Sambuddho Vijjācarana Sambanno Sugato Lokavido Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarathi Sattva Deva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati Namo Tassa Samma Sambuddhassa Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditthiko Akaliko Ye Vasiko Banayiko Achatang Vedita Bhovinyo Iti Namo Tassa Niyanikassa Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujjapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyāyapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samicchipatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidang Cattari Purisa Yogani Atta Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Bahuneyo Dakhineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Bunyakhetang Dokasati Namo Tassa Acharya Puggala Evaṁ Buddhaṁ Sarantanang Dhammang Sanghang Ca Bhikkhavo Bhayaṁ Vācchaṁ Vitattaṁ Vā Lomahං Sonaye Sati Ganasara Paditena Divena Tamadam Sina Tilokadipang Sambuddhaṁ Bhujayami Tamonudhaṁ Gandhasamvadayotena Dubinaham Sugandhina Ujaye Bhujaniyantang Bhujabhajanamuttamang Vannagandha Gunovidang Etang Kusamasantating Ujayami Munindasa Sirivadasaruruhe Ujemi Buddhang Kusamena वन्येन मे तेन च वोतु मुखं उपं विलायाति यथा इदं मे कायो तथा याति विनाशभावम् इमाय धम्मानुधम्मपटिपत्तिया बुद्धम् इमाय धम्मानुधम्मपटिपत्तिया धम्मं भुजेमि इमाय धम्मानुधम्मपटिपत्तिया संघं भुजेमि समन्ता चक्रवालेषु अत्र गच्छन्तु देवता सधम्मं मुनिराजसा शृण्वन्तु सद्गमुखदं धम्मश्रवणकालो अयं वदन्ता धम्मश्रवणकालो अयं वदन्ता धम्मश्रवणकालो अयं वदन्ता नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो करणीयमथ कुशलेन यन्तं सन्तं वदं अविसमेच सकोजो च सोजो च सुवचो च समुद्वनतिमानि सन्तोषको च सुभरो च अपकिचो च सल्लौकवती सन्दिन्द्रियो च निपको च आपगवो कुलेषु अननुगिद्धो न च कुद्धं समाचरे किञ्चित् येन विඤ्ඤापरेरुपवदेयं सुखिनो वाखेमिनो हन्तु सर्वे सत्ता भवन्तु सुखितात्ता ये केचिपानभूताति तसावाथा वरावनवशेषा दीर्घा वा ये महन्ता वा मध्यमा नुकथोला देठा वा येव अदेठा ये च दूरे वसन्ति अविदूरे भूता वा सम्भवे सेवा सर्वे सत्ता भवन्तु सुखितात्ता न परो परं निकोऽप्येत ज्ञातिमन्येत कथचिनं कञ्चित् व्यारोस्तनपतिगसन्न्या नान्यमन्यस्तदुःखमिच्छेय्या माता यथा नियं भूतम् आयुषा एकपुत्रमनुरक्षे एवं सर्वभूतेषु मानसं भावये अपरिमाणं मेतं च सर्वलोकस्मिन् मानसं भावये अपरिमाणं उद्धं अधो च तिर्यं च असंवातं अवीरं असपतं तीर्थं चरं निसिन्नो वा शयानो वा यावतस्य विगतमिद्धो एतं सतिं अदिठेय ब्रह्ममेतं विहारं इदमाहो देठं च अनुपगम्यशीलवा दर्शनेन सम्पन्नो कामेषु विनय्यगेदं नहि जातो गर्भशय्यं पुनरेतेति दुःखापत्ताचने दुःखाभयापत्ताचने भया पत्ताचने शोकाहुन्तु सर्वे विवानिनो एतेन सच्चवज्जेन सुतिते होतु सर्वदा एतेन सच्चवज्जेन होतु ते जयमङ्गलं एतेन सच्चवज्जेन भातु ते रतनतयं आकाशट्ठा च ब्रह्मट्ठा देवा नागम इद्धिका पुण्यं तं अनुमोदित्वा चिरं रक्षन्तु शासनं चिरं रक्षन्तु देशनं चिरं रक्षन्तु मं वरं एतावता च मे संवतं पुण्यसंवदं सर्वे देवा अनुमोदन्तु सर्वे भूता अनुमोदन्तु सर्वे सत्ता अनुमोदन्तु सर्वसम्पत्तिसिद्धिया निब्बानसम्पत्तिसिद्धिया कायेन वाचा चित्तेन प्रमादेन मया कृतम् अच्छयं गममेवन्ति भूरिपन्या तथागत कायेन वाचा चित्तेन प्रमादेन मया कृतम् अच्छयं गममेदम्मो सन्दिष्ठिको अकालिको कायेन वाचा चित्तेन प्रमादेन मया कृतम् अच्छयं गममे सङ्गो अनुत्तरं इमिना पुण्यकर्मेण मामे बालसमागमो सतं समागमो होतु यावन्निब्बानपत्तिया इदं मे पुण्यकर्मम् आस्वक्षयं अहं होतु सर्वदुःखविमुच्यतु निब्बानसर्वचयो साधु साधु साधु.
Kamami kamithabang sukhino bhavantu abhivadanasилеса nichang buddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balanti. Now it is time to practice meditation. Sit comfortably.
Close your eyes. Feel the body. Feel the presence of this body. Slowly bring your attention to the nostril. Observe incoming and outgoing breath. We have to be aware. We have to be aware on the breath. When breath comes in, when breath goes out, just be aware regarding the breath. We have to hold our mind on awareness about breath. Observing incoming and outgoing breath, one can experience calm, peacefulness, and overcoming of sorrow, tension, and pressure. Remain focused on breath. with this calm mind, radiate metta, starting from oneself. May I be happy. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be freed from dangers and accidents. May I be freed from dangers and accidents. May all beings, human beings, non-human beings, visible, invisible, beings in this Bihara, in this city, in this state, in this country, in this world, in this universe, may all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be freed from dangers and accidents. May all beings be freed from dangers and accidents. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
popular and very important gatha today from the chapter called Buddha Vagga, which is the chapter on Buddha. So, as you know, Buddha Punima, Buddha Jayanti is coming on 23rd, Vaishak Purnima. So I thought, let me speak something from the chapter on Buddha, from something related to Buddha. So this gatha, it says, Kicho manusa patilabo, kichang machana jivitang, kichang sadhamma savanang, kicho buddhanang upado. So English, rare is the birth as a human being, heart is the life of a mortal, heart is the hearing of the sublime truth, rare is the appearance of the Buddhas. So, kicho, in Hindi we can say kathin, something which is difficult, something rare, something which you cannot just get easily. So the first one says, kicho manusa patilabo. Patilabo, to gain. To gain human life. Manusa means, manusha means a human life. Is kicho, very difficult. The first one. So, human life that we all have is very rare, is very, that we already have actually. So, we are very lucky because we have the precious human life. We have this human life which is very precious. Because in this cycle of birth and death, to get human life is very difficult. The reason is that you need good karma to be born as a human being. So we all must be happy now, today. Please be happy now. Okay. So, because you have human life. So please appreciate. If you have nothing much to be happy about in life, if you have a lot of problem in life, just know that you have human life. That itself should be a reason for happiness. That itself should be a reason for happiness. You see? And sometimes people say, oh, there are so many people on the earth, 7 billion. It looks like human life is very easy to get. It seems like some people think like that. But no, it is not easy. Maybe, at this time in our history, or you can say this time of our human history, the situation on the earth, in the human life, is good. So that is why maybe we have more human now. But it is not always the case. It's not always the case. So it's very, very important for us to remind again and again. One of our senior teacher, his name is Kasapa Bhante, he is our now our main teacher. He always, every time when he conducts meditation, he always tell this, before meditation, or let's say as part of meditation, as you close the eyes, first before we actually do the breath meditation, he says, just remind yourself that you have this precious human life. You see, Because sometimes when we have something, we do not value. When it is no more there, then we regret, or then we miss that, we feel that. So it's this is the first one. Second is kichang machana jivitang. So some people get human life, but then to live, to live a human life is also difficult. It's a challenge. So that we can relate, maybe, So that is the problem of dukkha. So it's not easy to live a human life, because you have so many challenges, difficulty, maybe relationship, maybe job, maybe your own mind sometime, the society, or now these days environment, and sometime in some place war, and at least now we are independent. Before we had the colonial rule, the British problem, you see. So it's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. That's what Buddha is saying here. It's not so easy. But then, what makes our human life easy, we can see in the third line of this gatha, which is kichang sa dhamma savanam. It is very hard to listen to Dhamma, to listen to the teaching, the good teaching. It is rare to get the good teaching. So in Hyderabad, maybe 80 lakh, some people, among them here I can see maybe 25 to 30 people here. So don't you think that is difficult? Don't you think it is rare that among 80 lakh, only 30 people are getting to listen to Dhamma now? So it's very difficult, for many reasons. Some people say, oh, I'm very far, I stay somewhere near high-tech city or some other place, traffic is there. If there was a viharan near my place, I would have loved to come every day. So some people say that. And some people will have, oh, I work like Monday to Friday or Saturday, and Sunday I have some other things to do, to clean the room, to do some other thing. So it is very difficult, So like that, there may be many reasons for people to not, Of course, there may be some external reasons also, but then bigger reason is your own internal reason. You see, your own mind. Your mind will say that, in some place with it's too early, it's too late, it's too cold, it is too hot. It's like our mind gives all this reason for us to not do something which is good, you see. And that is the reason people cannot get the chance to listen to Dhamma. So, when you listen to Dhamma, then I think life becomes easier, you see. So, when in the third, the problem of living a human life, the second one, which is difficult, but then Buddha is saying, if you listen to Dhamma, the life becomes much easier, much more, happier, or at least easier. In some way you can sort of manage your life. You can, in fact, you can make your life much more better if you listen to Dhamma. Because when you listen to Dhamma, your view about life, the things about life changes, you see. So that is why in the Noble Eightfold Path, the first one is right view. You see, so it's a view is very important for us, because from view everything starts. If you have a right view, everything becomes easier. If you don't have a right view, everything becomes difficult. You see, so it's our view, it's our mind that will make life easy or difficult. You see, so that is why listening to Dhamma is something hard, something difficult. That's what Buddha is saying, because one of the reason is the last stanza, which is Kicho Buddhana Upado, that is, heart is the birth of a Buddha. You see, so the birth of a Buddha. So Buddha, as you know, was born. This Gautama Buddha was born 2600 years ago. After that, there was no Buddha. There is no Buddha till now. You see, so the next Buddha is Maitreya Buddha, but that Buddha comes. That Buddha comes very, very long time. Because it's very difficult. Because from where Buddha will come? Buddha comes from within us. Somebody has to work to become a Buddha. Somebody has to prepare himself to become a Buddha, and that takes a long time. You see, and it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task. So that's why it is difficult to get the right teaching. We'll have many teachings, but the right teaching, to get the right teaching is something very rare, is something very difficult for us to get. And sometimes, even if we get the right teaching, we don't understand sometimes. You see, we don't get it, or we don't connect with the teaching. So that's very rare. So now, why this stanza, this sloka was spoken by Buddha? So there is a story behind why it was said. So this is the story of a Naga king. You might have heard of Nagas, right? So Nagas are, all of you may be aware of already, their shape is something like a snake, but they are not like normal reptile kind of snake, but they are more powerful beings, but they are below human being. They are in terms of psychological ability, they are below human mind, but they have some special abilities. They can take any form. In Buddha's time, one Naga, he wanted to become a monk. You see, so he took the form of a human being and he became a monk. But the problem with them is, if they sleep, if they go into sleep, then they will automatically become Naga again without their knowledge. You see, if they sleep, you just become. So this he was with another monk, and he was sleeping, and suddenly he became Naga, and then that monk was so much afraid to see that Naga, and then it was reported to Buddha, and then Buddha said, no, you cannot become a monk, you are a Naga, it is not possible. So he was sent back, but he told the Naga to observe, you can call it fasting, you can call it fasting. So in Buddhism we have the special practice during full moon day and new moon day. You see, the 8th precept, where you don't eat after 12 in the noon, and you don't engage in singing, and you lead a celibate life, for just full moon day, new moon day, just for 24 hours. So Buddha suggested him to do that, And from that time onward, it became a rule that whenever somebody is going to become a bhikshu monk, they should ask, "Are you a Naga?" Are you a Naga? Like that, there are some 4 or 5 things. So, are you a Naga? That also should be asked when somebody wants to become a monk. It became a rule in Buddhist monastery rule. So, it's about that King Naga, and his name was Erakapatta. And interestingly, this Naga was a monk in his previous life. He was monk during Kasapa Buddha time, maybe. I think the previous Buddha, Kasapa Buddha time. The previous Buddha was called Kasapa Buddha. So he was a monk in that time, and he committed a very small kind of a mistake, very small, like for example, a monk, fully monk, not the novice monk. These monks who are sitting at the below, they are novice monk. They are not fully monk. So as a fully monk, you cannot cut trees. You cannot dig soil. So that is the rule. So he was traveling by boat, and somehow he happens to hold one creeper, and that creeper came out, and then he was thinking about that. Oh, I did a mistake, though it was a very negligible kind of mistake, but he became too much obsessive about that mistake, and as a result of that, he could not become enlightened in that life as a bhikkhu. And it is said that at that time, during that Buddha time, human life was very long. It was in 1,000, not 100, in 1,000. But he could not become enlightened. You see, I think you can also relate, right? Sometime we become very much obsessed with our mistake, and we think we are bad, So I think this is something to be learned, something that we should learn, that we should not be too much criticizing ourselves as well as others, We should not be too much holding on to somebody's mistake and too much, and we have to forget some of the mistake that happen in our life. We are all human beings, we all make mistakes, so just accept the mistake, just say sorry, just forgive somebody, and free our mind. It's very, very important, you see, because this monk, he just could not become enlightened just because of this small mistake, that he became attached. It is attachment to that mistake, and so because of that, he was born as a Naga. Now as a Naga king, now as a Naga, he has a big power, but that power is not very useful, you see, because his mind is little bit low compared to human life. It is not very, human mind is very, human mind can become fully enlightened. It can reach to the highest level. Human mind is very powerful, but Naga cannot reach. It may be, they can be somewhere in 30-40% around that. They cannot go beyond that because of their existence itself. So therefore he was born there, but then he was waiting for somebody, some next Buddha to come and and to listen to Dharma. So, and as a Naga, they live very long. Nagas life or lifespan, age is very, very long. It's in maybe, and they say aeon, kalpas, what we call in kalpas in Sanskrit, aeon, which is like long time. So he had a daughter, and that daughter, Naga daughter, she used to take the form of a human woman, human girl, like a young girl, and she used to dance in different places, and she used to sing some song. She used to sing song, and what was the song? The songs were the questions. It was this song were the questions that she used to sing. So the idea was that these questions were the questions of King Naga, and through her daughter she wanted to get the answer from somebody, or Buddha or somebody. So she used to sometimes go and she used to do that, and they used to say that that if somebody can answer this question, I will marry that person. Anybody who can give this answer. There was, but nobody could answer. A question I will go later, but these questions, nobody could answer. And one day, one person called Uttara, he wanted to, go and give an answer, because he thought he can give a good answer. But Buddha came to know about that. Buddha know that this person is going to give an answer. So Buddha gave a teaching to that person, Uttara, and after the teaching, this Uttara, he achieves some higher level of mind. He achieves some level of enlightenment. And then he got the answer from the Buddha. Buddha gave the answer to him. And then he went with the answer to that Naga princess, Naga princess. And so what was the question? The first one is, who is a ruler? Who is a king? Who is a king? Who is a master? So usually king in those days were connected, or it is understood as somebody who is a master, somebody who is independent, who is free, or who is powerful, who can do whatever he wants, something like that. It was connected to that. So who is a ruler? Who is a master? Who is not a servant? Who is not a, gulam, not a servant? So the answer is, he who controls the six senses is a ruler. Okay? So the six senses, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So we have these six senses. So these are called indriyas. Indriyas means they are like they are the ruler. These six senses that we have are the rulers. Are the real rulers. And if you, let's say somebody is a prince, somebody is a prince and he is ready to become a king, but that prince need to train, maybe say train in administration, train in fighting, the prince. So in the same way, let's say our six senses, they are also like a prince, because they have the power to become a king. So if you control, or if you can say if you train your senses, then you are a king. Otherwise, you are a servant. So it's a very important one. So if we don't have control over our six senses, so we are controlled by whom? Controlled by, say, distraction, controlled by people around, controlled by things around, controlled by many things. So you are being controlled by the what we call the arammana. Arammana means this objects of these six senses, so you are controlled by that. I think you can relate, yourself. This was the first question. So now second question is one who is overwhelmed by the mist of moral defilement to be called a ruler? One who is somebody who is controlled by his own negativity, can you call him a ruler? So he said, no. He who is free from selfishness is a ruler. Somebody who is free from selfishness, so this is also something important, which is selfishness, and of course, as a human being, we need to see our own benefit in everything, right? But as Buddha spoke about this concept of attahita parahita, which means benefit for yourself and benefit for others, So if you do something, and we can also say that if you are doing something with selfishness, it is not really beneficial for. If you really assess when you are being selfish, it is really not benefit for yourself and others, So when you do something selfless, in the sense that you don't consider only one person, which is you, and you also consider yourself and whoever are involved in that particular act, you have to consider everyone, and do your best where everybody is in a win-win situation. You win, they win, everyone win. That kind of a situation, Otherwise, if you are just obsessed with yourself, or in some cases, there are people who also are obsessed by others, in the sense you just think you only think about others and you don't think about yourself. So that also, in some way, I feel is sort of selfish, So if you have that, then you can't be a ruler, because you can't actually function in your best ability, So when you are able to function in your best ability, then you are a ruler, which means you are, say, independent, you are, I would say not independent, I would say you are free, basically you are free, you enjoy freedom, you enjoy freedom. And the next question is, what ruler is free from moral defilements? The answer is, the ruler who is free from selfishness is free from moral defilements. So this is something we already spoke. And the last question is, what sort of person is to be called a fool? So who is a fool? A person who hankers after sensual pleasures is a fool. Somebody who is sort of run after sensual pleasure, is a fool. So how do we understand it? Does it mean that we don't enjoy our life? No, we do enjoy, but it again comes to this idea of master, which means you don't, again the six senses, you don't sort of abuse your senses, you don't abuse your senses, you don't become obsessive or addicted to certain sensory interaction, sensory activity. You don't become obsessive, you don't become addicted to the sensory thing. Otherwise, it's fine, So if you are in that, then you are a fool, because you only bring loss to yourself because of your own addiction or abusing yourself, So this is what Buddha, this is what the question was. And then there were some other questions, it seems, about the existence, about other views, and so many other, and about doubt and all. So Uttara answered all the questions, and then when Erakapata, so this Naga, he also heard all the questions, so he understood that Buddha has come in the world, because he didn't know till then, because he is aware of Buddha, because in the past life he was a monk, so he knows about Buddha. So now he knew that a new Buddha has come. So he went to the Buddha, he listened to some of his teaching, and then Buddha at that time spoke this particular sloka which I have mentioned in the beginning, and listening to that, many people were benefited, many became enlightened after listening to the teaching. So we can see from this story that how precious human life is. You see, because of one mistake, this monk, who was a very good monk, did not do a very big mistake, a small, just taking out a creeper, that too unintentionally, but how he just became a Naga, and he had to be there for such a long time. And by the way, Naga world is not so it's not so pleasant. Okay, they have a lot of difficulty, even though they have power, but they are not. It's not like they are happy, So you also know, in our human life also, in our human existence also, there are people who have a lot of power, but they are not necessarily be happy, you see, because they have certain power that they get, but then they are not necessarily happy, or they are not necessarily enjoying the human life, or using the human life for their growth, for their growth. So that's something we can see in human life as well. So from this story, we can see it's always very easy to just fall down. Yes, falling down is very easy, but coming up is something very difficult. So that's something we can see in this story. We can see that. So let us all to remind ourselves that we are very lucky to be born as a human being, and it's very important. I think every morning when you wake up, just tell yourself that we have a precious human life. This day, I use this day for the benefit and growth of myself and others. I use this day totally for the real benefit of myself and others, because this is a very precious human life, and it is so precious that it can, and not only precious, but it is it is precious because it can be lost anytime, any moment. That's also something we have to remind, because we don't know when we just lose human life, at what time we don't know. Right? So this is also something very important to really tell ourselves. So it's good. I mean, sometime in the news we always hear, oh, somebody was killed, or somebody was murdered, somebody got accident and killed, and somebody, in the war something happened, so it's in some way it is good to see some of those news as well. Some people feel this is so bad, I feel sad, but you can be sad, of course, it's natural, but there is also another side of the coin, which is to appreciate your life, because and also reminding that I can also die. So I have my human life now, so I really, really need to use this human life to to grow toward the, toward higher and higher and higher, and achieve the freedom, freedom of mind, or freedom as a being. So that's something we need to always do that, and I think when you do that, the next line, which is difficulty of human life, will be less, because you are being mindful and you try to live a very best life. Just think today is the last day, today is the last day, just think today is the last day, So if you think today is the last day, just imagine today somebody says, okay, now today is the last day. Some God or somebody comes to you and say, today is your last day. Then how it will be, right? So like that, we need to think, and we need to really, really think, because today can be the last day, you never know. Today can be the last day. So don't say today is the last day, let's just say today can be the last day, so because if you say today is the last day, it sounds a little bit rude and something like a bad thing, but at least you can say today can be the last day. So when you really have that in your mind, then you will do your best, you will do much more best to spend that day in the best possible way, so then you grow as a human being, and you grow toward freedom. Okay, so this is my Dhamma words for you, and because it's a Buddha Purnima, so I thought we will share about this, about Buddha. And so we have Buddha Purnima on 23rd here, so we have a whole day kind of program, but the main gathering will be at 11 o'clock in the morning. So all of you are invited. Please do come with your family and friends and celebrate the holy day, the most holy day for Buddha follower, because on this, it's a full moon day also, and Buddha was born on that day, he became a Buddha on that day, and he passed away on that day. So it's all the three happened on the same day, same full moon day. So you must be wondering, is it really true? All these main things happen on the same day. But then I also thought about it, is it possible to happen like that? But then I feel that since Buddha is, Buddha, before he is a Buddha, when he was preparing to become Buddha, we call him Bodhisattva, right? So he was really using his time in the best way, what I mentioned today. He was really using his time in the best way. Surprisingly, in one of his past life, Buddha was also a Naga. He was born as a Naga. So he used to spend most of his time in observing the eight Shila, which I mentioned today, the fasting kind of thing. As a Naga also he used to do that. So even as a Naga, he was not wasting his time. So when you don't waste your time, everything happens on time. Everything happens on time. You see. So in my own experience, I've seen when I am little bit careful about time, then I have seen that a lot of thing happens on time. Something surprisingly, many things surprisingly happens on time. Tuck. Not just my day-to-day activity, but something from here, there, from some other country, some other city, and everything just suddenly comes on the right time, at the right place. It just happened in my own experience. So if you really value time, if you don't waste time, surely everything will happen. And that's what in the case of Buddha. And most of his important event in life happens on full moon day. You see, on full moon day. And then I thought, why that? Why it is like that? Because one example I gave about Naga. As a Naga, he used to, especially full moon day, new moon day, he used to observe these 8 precept, 8 shilas, principles, or practice, 8 practice you can call it, or fasting you can call it. So that also could be one of the reason. And in many, when in his past life, when he was not monk, he was a householder, he used to follow these 8 precepts during full moon day, new moon day. And even today, Buddhists all over the world, they follow in many places, they during full moon day, new moon day, they follow this 8 precept, Ashtashila. It's considered as a very powerful sort of training for the mind. So, and that is the reason things happen, some good thing happens on full moon day. Full moon day, or mostly full moon day. So again, it comes to the time and how you use the time in the best way. So when you don't waste the time, when you do things on time, when you don't procrastinate, then I think things in your life will just happen surprisingly. A lot of everything happens just tuck. It happens at the right time. So it's all about time, and our life is time. So I hope all of us will best use our precious human life, which is very, very precious, so that you can grow. So with these few words, we conclude today's Sunday evening gathering, and we thank all of you for coming and listening, and we see you next Sunday, and also see you on 23rd as well, and then we conclude with wishing all the beings happiness. Whatever good we have done today by listening to Dharma, by meditating and chanting, all this punya be shared with all the beings in the universe. May all beings in the universe be happy, healthy and peaceful. Sukhi bhave yang dukkha aham cha aham viya hita cha me sukhi honto Majata jata verino imam higama ketam he tahonto sukhe sada tato paranchara jesu Chakavale sujantano sadhu sadhu sadhu. And one more announcement is now every Friday, we started this last Friday, just 2 days ago, 5:30 to 7:30 every Friday we have a special program. We attend online a program which is hosted in Thailand. One very senior monk from the forest tradition, a very saintly monk, he comes every Friday online and he gives teaching. There is chanting, there is question answer, there is teaching. So all our monks, all our monks, we attend here in this hall. If you are interested, if you have time, you are also welcome. Okay, so with this we conclude and see you next Sunday or 23rd. Buddha Purnima.